Oh hey there, I'm Blitz. Welcome back to Blitzworks. So, you saw in the title and the thumbnail, we have recreated the Cryocan from the original Jurassic Park using 3D printing and a little prop magic. Check that out. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So with the Jurassic World Domination movie coming out this week, we thought it'd be fun to tie in the recreation of this movie prop. One of maybe the most iconic movie props of the 90s? I'll go that far and say it's one of my favorite anyway. And you know the history of the can in Jurassic Park. Dennis Nedry had that backroom deal with Biosyn to sell them dinosaur embryos for $1.5 million. He was going to steal the embryos and put them in a Barbasol can that was converted into a cryogenic chamber to keep the embryos cold for up to 36 hours. So I'm going to take you through the process of how we recreated this prop, and starts out with the actual cryo can itself. Now, it is a generic standard Barbasol can, and actually this is an interesting one. A little bit of a backstory on this. I was given this by Jeff Goldblum himself when I went to a press event for Jurassic World Evolution.
I'm Jeff Goldblum. Blitz! That's my favorite channel.
Actually got that little pop figurine of him too at that event, and I thought it was kind of cool. So it was fitting that we're going to use the can that we got from that event to turn it into the actual movie prop. Now, with that said, it's not 100% authentic to the movie. They have a different label, and if you wanted to, you could get your own label. They're on Etsy for like $1 that you could download the file and then print it out on your own sticker paper. We thought this was a cool story, so we just kind of wanted to roll with this one. And as you can imagine, Jeff didn't have any spare dinosaur embryos laying around, so he just gave me a regular can of shaving cream. And in order to make this prop, we had to remove the shaving cream out of the can itself. So I just emptied it for a couple minutes into the sink, and then I was able to play in a sink full of shaving cream. And the office did smell like Barbasol for the next 3 days, but that's totally fine anyway. And now that it was mostly empty, we needed to take the bottom off the can, and I donned some safety equipment that was sent from a different game. Headed outside, and I'll be honest, I did leave a little bit of pressure in the can for some nice cinematic effects. And I mean, who doesn't want to see shaving cream spray out of a can at high pressure? Unfortunately, the can was a little bit more difficult than I expected to open. The can opener actually broke, and then I just had to use a blade to chew it off, like taking little tiny bites. And after a quick cleaning, we needed to file down the bottom of the can and then sand it flat, so we didn't cut ourselves on the sharp, pokey metal pieces. And now that the bottom of the can was open, we could use calipers to measure the proper dimensions, and we could 3D print a brand new base, as well as the internal components. And with full transparency, we printed out the base and found a good design online instead of spending our time modeling our own. There's a ton of different options that you could print out for these, and we have the link in the video description of the design that we used. It was very well done, and it was so much easier than reinventing our own cryocan. Now that we have our model ready, it's time to print. The base took about 2 hours to print, the middle spinny guy took 4 hours, and about 6 hours for everything else. And when you play all the parts out together, it looks pretty cool inside of the splicer. Now that everything was printed, it was time to move into assembly. There weren't too many parts in it, and everything was super simple to slip together. We just needed to fit an O-ring on so we could seal the dinosaur embryos inside of the can so they wouldn't die on us. As for the test tubes we used for inside the can, we noticed that Nedry was using pyramid-shaped ones. These are probably centrifugal test tubes, and we couldn't really find anything on Amazon other than a package of 500 of them, and we only needed like 10. We also considered 3D printing these things, but let's be honest, they're not 100% waterproof when you 3D print something, and there's a good chance it's not going to be fully transparent, even if we use transparent filament. And if we couldn't get transparency, then we couldn't get these sweet cinematic shots of us adding dinosaur embryos to the water. So I know that in the movie, all of the test tubes had yellow fluid in them, but we actually just wanted to use some other colors too, because honestly, I think it looks pretty cool with all of the different colors involved here. If we put everything back in the test tube nicely, and then slap it together, we have a pretty cool looking cryo freezing facility for these embryos. We can also change out the color of the food coloring anytime that we want to. guys will have to let me know what you thought of this project. Did you like it? Is it something unique and interesting to you? And if you want to see anything else, make sure you let us know down below in the comments section. If you haven't already, make sure you click this little button right about here to subscribe. And if you want to, up here or over here somewhere, there's another video you can watch of us recreating the Vibroblade from Star Wars. So, thanks for watching. Keep your stick on the ice. We'll catch you next time.